I want to keep it real simple today. So the thing that's worked for me is I've really simplified nutrition. I've been involved in diet plans and all that stuff since I've been 12 years old, and I've had extreme plans where I've done cabbage soup diets, and I've done keto, and I've done plans from nutritionists, and I've had plans where I've been vegan for 2 years purely to lose weight and health benefits. But then I've also cut foods completely out of my diet, like carbs, and felt completely shit, but thinking that's the only way to lose weight. And the one thing that I've always gone back to and has always worked, where I've had energy, I have enjoyed my food, my training has been good, has been through counting calories and managing protein, and that's it. And then from that, everything kind of snowballs on top of it. So I heard one thing was, if you want to lose weight, reduce your calories. If you want to reduce weight but change how your body looks, reduce your calories and count your proteins and your macros. And if you want to reduce your weight, look good and feel good, do those things and add in your micronutrients, so your fruits and your vegetables, right? So that really is the basis of what I, how I structure my food plans. Now, I've been, I've been helping Benny with the food plan over the last, 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Benny's not someone who needs to lose a lot of body fat, but this kind of thing is an example that if you're someone like me who needs to lose 50 kilos, or you're someone like Benny who wants to lose 10 kilos, the process is still the same. And in, 5 or 6 weeks? 5 weeks?
92 down to 88.
Yeah, so he's down 4 kilos. It's been a consistent thing, but in saying that, he's eating his favourite foods every day, but just eating different versions of them. So
still had Macca's a few times.
yeah, Macca's. He's too many times. He's had too many red wines. So he's had. He loves to have a red. He loves to eat sandwiches during the day. He loves to eat his. No sugar. He's a sweet tooth. So it's finding these things and how you can put them into your plan. And if you do exceed your calories, it's then not a matter of restricting yourself so hard that you feel like you can't do anything the next day, but as we all know, working out here for 45 minutes to an hour, it's quite a struggle. It's tough. And if we're doing it purely to burn calories, we're only going to burn 500 or 600 calories in the session. How quickly can you eat 500 or 600 calories? You can do it in 2 minutes, right? So this is where, instead of coming to the gym to out-train our food, this is where we go, okay, well, if I can reduce 400 or 500 calories here and I'm burning 500 calories there, there's my 1,000 calorie deficit without having to be hyper restrictive. And if I do that and I'm in a 500 calorie deficit a day, then over a week I'm losing 300 grams to half a kilo of fat, but I'm maintaining a decent lifestyle. This is the goal that I want for you guys and me. Does that make sense? So first thing is talking about calories. How do we figure out what calories do we burn? All right. So the easy thing is something that's called a BMR calculator. So the BMR is a basal metabolic rate. So that tells you how many calories you burn in a day if you did absolutely nothing. Just to be alive, you burn calories. All right. So Benny was at about just under 2,000 calories. I think is what's
my current base is like 1780 or something.
Yeah. So 1,780 calories is what his body burns.
That's factored in with the 500 less. So I'm actually like 22.
Yeah. Let's say like 1,700 calories. I don't get into the details of calories. I'm an overall picture because otherwise it's just 2 calories ain't going to make that much of a difference unless you're competing on stage. But 1,700 calories is what he burns in a day doing nothing. No, actually, that's a lie. Like getting up to go to the toilet, he's still going to be burning calories. Getting up to walk around, but like if he absolutely did nothing and just lay there and breathed for a day, it'd be 700 calories. All right. So factored on top of that, he trains. He measured his training. He burns roughly 600 to 700 calories in the training session. So you add that in, that's 2,500 calories. Then on top of that, your daily activity of moving around is another 300 or 400 calories. So he's burning close to the 3,000 calorie mark in a day, right? So based on that knowledge, I was able to go, okay, we're not going to go for 1,800 calories. We're going to go for 2,500 calories, so that he is eating 2,500 calories of food, not looking at a diet and go, okay, I need to eat 1,500 or 1,800 calories to reduce weight here. So based on what he's moving and what he's eating, and that's really important to get this. So on your phones right now, type in BMR calculator, okay? And in that BMR calculator, there's if you go to Google, the first link, it'll be the one that will pop up. Click on that. And then once you're in that, it should ask for your age, your weight, your height, and all that kind of stuff. Has everyone got that? Is that working? Yep. So put all that info in and then press go, and someone yell out to me what those numbers are.
I've got, so it's BMR 1970.
Perfect. So 1970, I'd call it 2,000. Yep. So you're at 2,000 calories a day. So you're someone who's 100 kilos, fit male, not that active during the day with work, but you train here, 4 days a week. So is that 2,000 calories at zero? Like with no activity, like the top figure? Give us a look.
Top figure, sedentary, little or no exercise, 2,364.
Yeah, there you go.
20.
So, and then what's 4 to 5 days a week?
2,886.
2.8. So I would then say your expenditure on the daily is at 2.8. So that's at 4 days a week. So so anything under that, you're at a calorie deficit. So if you want to maintain your sanity and still maintain your protein level, so this is our first tick. Our first tick is, okay, our calories. So we're figuring out our calorie consumption. The second one is now our protein consumption. All right, IEN. So protein consumption now, the way I really work that out is it's about 1 to 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight. 1.5. So roughly, if you're 100 kilos, that's 100 grams of protein, so 150 grams of protein to maintain and build muscle mass. Every day. Okay? So let's base off 100 kilos because they're nice even numbers. So protein, at someone who's 2,800 kilos, you want 1 to 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight. So you're looking at 100 to 150 grams of protein, right? So that's to maintain muscle mass, and so the weight that our body is losing is fat. We don't want to lose weight. We want to lose body fat.
Someone's waiting to be accepted.
Sure. Unless they're already in. Does that make sense, guys, so far? So if you're 70 kilos, that's going to be between 70 and 110, 120 grams, right? If you're 50 kilos, that's going to be between 50 and 80 grams, 90 grams. So, say for example, we're going for high level because we want to build muscle mass or maintain at the very least, and we're doing it over a gradual process. You go, holy shit, I'm going to eat 150 grams of protein a day. How many times a day do you eat?
3 meals,
Yeah.
but then
And then stacks in
counting a
between.
coffee or something, if that's a snack.
Yeah.
That's
So say 3 meals, you're getting 40 grams of protein per meal. In 3 meals, that equals 120 grams of protein. Yeah. And then say you have a snack or two during the day. I'll show you some things where you can snack on, and you can add in an extra 20 to 30 grams of protein through that. Bare minimum, if you don't snack, you're still getting 120 grams. So you're breaking it into 3 meals of 40 grams of protein. Right? Does that make sense so far? Right? So then we start to look at, okay, well, what are our protein sources? So what do you like to eat already is the thing that you want to ask yourself. Don't go, well, I don't eat chicken. Let's go and buy, 4 kilos of chicken breast and cook that up. You're not going to eat it. You're not going to stick to it. If you like eggs, eat eggs. If you like steak, eat steak. If you like fish, eat fish. Whatever it is that you already are currently eating, let's work around that and how we can healthify it. So, for example, I love burgers and I love pizza and I love, nachos and I love all these kind of foods. So how can we make them healthier versions, lower fat versions, lower calorie versions, but higher protein versions, yeah? And that's what then the ongoing process is how can we pick and change and choose and fix up our food a little bit without feeling like I'm, crazy restricting myself, but I do all this and I end up being under my calorie deficit. Make sense? All right, so let's say, Joshy, for example, you've got 3 meals a day. What would you normally have for your first meal?
On a good day?
No, just a normal day.
A normal day.
Give me your worst day.
My worst
middle
day?
day.
I'd have 2 poached eggs on sourdough.
Okay, so eggs. So eggs are your protein.
Yep.
That's a bad day. Far out.
Okay, so let's break this down. So 2 poached eggs. So most people have eggs, right? But 2 eggs is only 7 grams of protein per egg. Yeah? So there's not much protein in that. So we need to go, how can we get more protein in that? If we say have 4 eggs, that would get the protein up, but because eggs have a fat in them, that it would increase the calories. So how can we get more protein for lower calories? I would say have your 2 eggs, but then get some egg whites and add that in, because that's lean. If our goal is body fat, if our goal is reducing body fat, then let's increase the protein with what we're already having and have eggs and have egg whites in there. So you might have a scrambled egg with 2 eggs normally, and then you add half a cup to a cup of egg whites, and that there is going to pump an extra 15, 20 grams of protein just from the egg whites with absolutely not much calories at all. The calories in egg whites would be 50.
17 calories for 1 egg white.
Yeah, exactly, for 1 egg white. So you're looking at, if you've got 5 egg whites,
That's
it's not even 60, 70 calories, so nothing. Whereas if you had 5 eggs, you're looking at about, I think it's 75 to 80 calories per egg. Yeah? Does that make sense? So then you would think of that. So now we're getting you more food, which is what you need. And this is the problem, is a lot of people don't eat enough, and then they start to overeat other things through the day because the body has this craving mechanism where it's like, I need quick calories now, so then I'll go for the high density foods, and the high density foods are usually the high fat foods. Because so off subject a little bit, but if we break down proteins, carbs and fats, per calorie wise, for 1 gram of protein and carbohydrates, there's 4 calories. For 1 gram of fat, there's 9 calories. So if we want to increase our volume of food, the first thing we want to eliminate is the fats. I'm not saying get rid of them completely because we need fats, but if I looked at my food and I was like eating avocados and nuts and coconut yogurt and all these kind of things and streaky bacon and these things, chicken thighs. I'm getting excited talking about food, but if I go, okay, chicken thighs for chicken breast, egg yolk for egg whites, streaky bacon for round bacon, start to substitute the higher fatty foods and eliminate that, then straight away my calories are down and my protein's up. Does that make sense? So straight away look at our foods and go, okay, well, where's my protein? Perfect, eggs. So here we add in the whites. So that's easy. We easily get 40 grams of protein there. What I do is I have in the morning something similar. Not every morning, but I use this brand of bread called Country Split. They've got wholemeal or white. It's 120 calories for 2 slices of bread. I love bread, and the worst thing that anyone can ever tell you is cut bread out of your diet. That's like say cut out your happiness. I don't want that. I want to keep eating it. So I found a bread that's at a calorie level that is, I can have 2 to 3 sandwiches a day, and I can put the protein in it. So what I'll do is I'll soak 3 pieces of this in some egg whites and make a French toast with it, and then I'll add some sugar-free maple syrup on top for some flavour, which has only got 30 to 40 calories, and then I'll add a massive handful of berries or fruit or whatever I want to it for my micronutrients. And in that whole meal, 3 pieces of bread, egg whites, berries, and the maple syrup, you're looking at less than 500 calories and 40 grams of protein. All right, so that's an idea to start with your day. So second meal, what would you have for your second meal on the not so good average day?
Well, this is very healthy, but like most days.
Now give me your non-healthy. Give me what you like to eat.
Okay, I'd probably do like a kind of ham cheese
Yeah.
Like just on a muffin or whatever, just
Oh,
tomato
yeah,
paste
yeah,
and
yeah,
hams and
yeah,
cheese. And
yeah,
grill.
perfect. So once again, that stuff isn't overly unhealthy. The only problem is that is low in protein. So your ham there and your cheese, you may be getting 12 to 15 grams of protein on that. So I would say is keep that. The muffin, I'd say you need to have like maybe 2 or 3 of those because they're not very high in calories at all. But then your protein, have ham, but maybe add like chicken breast or turkey or you know, I wouldn't be adding salami or these kind of things if they're high in fats. But what lean protein do you like that you can add to those muffins to make it higher in protein, right? So that's similar to like it would be like a sandwich, or you know, if you feel like a pizza. So on the note of pizza, I used to have, you know, pizza once a week on a Friday. It was my treat, but it was still at the end of the day, you know, 1,500 calories. I ate the whole thing, and probably more because I had extra toppings and all that kind of stuff. So I found this pizza, which is Pro, comes in heaps of different flavors, vegetarian flavors as well. It's got 50 grams of protein, and it's only got 600 to 700 calories depending on what flavor you got. So
That's the whole pizza.
that's for the whole pizza. Yeah. So that's
You have
more.
two.
You know, well, you could. So you know, depending on what your goals are.
I'm losing weight.
Yeah. So it becomes costly if you're doing that. You can also do homemade pizzas with like the whole pita breads. I know everyone does homemade pizzas. The pita breads are clean. And then the key is those like, where's my protein, how much protein, and how much volume. So like if I go to the deli and I want to make a quick sandwich, I'll do like 200 grams of turkey breast, and I'll make 2 sandwiches out of that, add a handful of lettuce, and I'll squeeze some of this peri peri mayo or some light mayo, which has got 30 to 40 calories per serve, and I know that's 600 to 700 calories and 30 grams of protein, and I'm set. Does that make sense? So prioritize your protein first. So all I would do is add more protein to that meal. So lunch you've got pizza / wraps. You can make a wrap / sandwich, and once again you've got your 30 to 40 grams of protein in that. And then dinner, what would your dinner usually be?
I normally have chicken and rice.
Yeah. So chicken and rice. What would your dinner normally be?
We're having spaghetti.
Perfect. So spaghetti is clean. It's healthy. People go, oh, spaghetti's is not good for you. It's carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are fine. Portion control that. But then the mince that you use is the factor. I would use a chicken mince, a turkey mince, or a leaner mince, like a 5% instead of a 10-15%. Yeah. So then straight away you're taking out 200 or 300 calories from that. Tomato-based sauce. There's no calories in tomato. You know, then the only difference is the garlic breads and these kind of things, and the wine and the cheese and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying don't say cut out cheese. Find a light cheese. You know, where is it? Is there a cheese thing there? No, barbecue sauce. You want cheese in the fridge? In the fridge. So cheese, there's light cheeses. You know, so one thing Benny does though is, so there's 2 options with the food. If you want to, yeah, there you go. There's always lighter options. So this one's the bigger. It's got 30% less fat and 40% more protein. Still tastes like cheese, and you know, have that in your sandwich. You can buy that shredded, put it on your spaghetti. What I was going to say is, what was I talking about? I know, it comes to me. But does that make sense? So once again, you're still going to have your 30-40 grams of protein in that. What do you like to have for dinner, Anuj?
Whatever I can find, really.
Yeah. Anuj is the chef.
No, chef.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I don't cook at home.
Yeah.
No, I do cook at home, but it's more of like a
2-minute noodles.
like a monstrosity.
Yeah.
Because like you know, like you spend like the whole day making like really good food, and you come home, you basically like don't give a shit.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
eat like boiled chicken with fresh raspberries.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be like, you know what?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'm
At least you eat
5
protein.
star.
Yeah. So whatever it is, it's prioritize that. You know, another one for me is I love burgers. There's a brand of burgers called peppercorn at Woolworths, and that's per burger is 125 calories. I have 2 of them, that's 250. I have 2 pieces of bread, that's 120 calories. So there's, 300-400-ish. And I have my lettuce, tomato, onion, slice of cheese, a little bit of peronaise. I want my 650 calories. And then if I want, I'll, make some homemade chips, and I'll use like a 25% less carb potato. That's what I was saying before. The option is, if you want more volume, find something that's a lower in calorie option. Or Benny, he's like, well, I don't want the light mayonnaise. I want the real mayonnaise. I don't want the light sugar-free maple syrup. I want the real maple syrup. So I'm like, fine, but just control the portion. So if you're happy to do that and limit and understand how many calories are in that, that's not wrong. But for me, I eat with my eyes. So I'm at this point in my life, I need to have some volume in my food so that it satisfies me mentally and physically. Does that make sense? So I'm going to feel good.
Can I ask you a question? When you've got kids,
Yeah.
how old are they?
3 and 6.
Because I've got young kids and I sort of randomly, I don't do it all the time, but I kind of randomly eat whatever they're eating, which
Yeah.
invariably is either with cheese and shit.
Yeah.
I stopped that 5 weeks ago.
So
Yeah,
what did
no,
what was the
I don't eat.
difference?
You do end up eating the leftovers.
Yeah.
I just don't. And that's the only answer I've got.
So
You can't.
You
gotta-
isolate yourself from the
Well, the other day you sent me a photo of you guys eating your dinner.
On the weekend, yeah, we did big cook up, bacon, eggs,
Yeah.
like tomatoes, mushrooms, everything, like a big, huge. They love that.
But that's also healthy stuff.
Yeah, it's all none of it's bad in there,
Yeah.
and that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do usually cook up something different, piece of fish and some veggies. But they love that, and I don't. So I need it. That's it. Yeah. If they're eating good food, it's hard. So
It's dangerous though. I used to always find whatever was there, and you're just having mouthfuls and then you're having your own dinner.
All of
It's
a
probably
sudden
just
you're
to
like,
make sure that you just, because we were raised, well, don't chuck anything out. There are people starving in Africa and all of this. It's a different mindset.
here's one.
Well, yeah, peas and cheese.
right.
See, and okay, so on that topic of alcohol, I like to have a drink most weekends. Not crazy, but I'll like have some wine or a few Jimmy and Coke Zeros so that it keeps the calories down. But it's factored into my day. If I
So
go
don't
and-
eat anything.
Yeah.
Smashed it. No.
Yeah,
God.
That's the plan. That's the
You
plan.
get Camberwell.
Done. Got that.
Okay, so yeah, if you're going to have, and so here's the thing, it's like if you're going to go out for a celebration, right, and you're going to have a big night, allow yourself to enjoy it, but like kind of don't destroy it in the fact that, you maybe eat one meal lighter or a couple meals lighter, because you're probably going to go over calories and you're going to go over into the next day, but then it's easier for the next day to cut back 500 calories or go for a walk or something to then even yourself out back to even. And keep yourself at even rather than worrying about being in a deficit all the time.
So the 3 a.m. souvlaki's bad.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, okay, if you're going to drink, the one thing is I don't eat after if I'm drinking. So like I might have 6 to 10 drinks if it's a big night. Then I'm not going to do the Macca's run and the souvlaki stuff at the end. I'm like, hey, it's pretty good that I'm allowing myself to drink here. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to make that sacrifice of not eating. So that I'm not going to eat the shit at 3 a.m. So then I wake up the next morning, I'm a little bit hungover and whatever, but I'm straight back to my meal plan. I'll have my eggs on my toast, that's high protein, I'll go for the walk, and I'm straight back into it, rather than feeling sorry for yourself and, eating shit, and then, you don't do anything, and it's just a snowball, and you feel shit on the Monday, and you go, stuff it, I had a shit weekend, I'll just, do it next week, and then it just snowballs, right? So it's like, if you're at, a break even is 2,800 calories, and you add 3,500 calories on the weekend, then our goal is how do I get to 2,000 calories the next day? So then now, over the 3 days, I'm at even. So it's more so your calorie deficit isn't just day by day, it's really week by week. So if you have a big day or a couple of big days, how can I have a couple of lighter days? Does that make sense?
Come in here for 2 sessions a day.
Yeah, exactly. And then until just stay here all day. So some snacks in between that I like to have, like I found these, and these are amazing because like this whole thing here is 380 kilos. 380 kilos. That's a lot. 380
Just
calories.
holding that with your wrist.
And then this is cottage cheese, or you can have tuna, and this is 180 calories. This has got 24 grams of protein in this little thing. So this and this combined, 30 grams of protein. Yeah, 30 grams of protein and under 600 calories. So that's one of my go-tos nearly every day. Another go-to, which is always easy and like you don't have to be cooking, all the time, is this high protein. I think this is an Aldi version. I think they have one at Coles, where it's a Greek yogurt. This per serve, you get is 16 grams of protein, but you can easily get 20-25 grams by having a little bit more, and it's not that high in calories. And then you can either add some maple syrup, sugar-free maple syrup to keep the things down, and then berries, fruit, load it up. There's not a lot of calories in that stuff, and there's heaps of nutrients in that. Okay? And that's going to fill you up. The one thing that you'll find when you prioritize your protein is that you won't be as hungry throughout your meals. If I look at most people's diet, and even though they're eating clean, they're probably only getting, they're probably missing out on 30-40% of their protein. And if you just focus on even that, you'll make a massive difference, right? And then the other thing is, is just eliminating the calories from liquids. Either it's from sugary drinks, juices, all that kind of stuff. If that means you have to drink, sugar-free soft drinks, sugar-free cordial, to, if you're looking at losing more than 20 kilos, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest moral dilemma with food is like, that stuff, the real sugar is better for you than the artificial stuff. Whether it is or whether it isn't, the fact is, for me, it is stopping me from losing the 20-30 kilos that's on my body. So if I having the sugar-free stuff and I am helping me lose 20 kilos of fat from my body, that is the healthiest thing I can do for myself, is lose that fat. And then once I've lost the fat out of my body, the inflammation's down, the fat's gone from my internal organs, then I'll start, maybe making adjustments. But that doesn't mean you can have, 20 cans of Pepsi Max a day just because it's got no sugar. Do you ever see the first ever Pepsi Max ad with the monkey driving a taxi? Yeah. Don't worry, there's no sugar. And the monkey's driving a taxi, and the guy gets in. That's why I drink Pepsi Max. So anyway. But yeah, things like that. And then on top of that, so the liquids, like with sauces. So for me, like at night time, if I, have a meal, instead of eating something sweet, I might just go and have like a sugar-free Fanta or a sugar-free lemonade. And that'll give me my sweetness with 0 calories, and then that'll hit the spot, and then I won't have to worry about eating anything else. So if that works for you, great. And then same thing with like sauces. Like I've got so many sauces that, like for example, this barbecue sauce, the Stubbs barbecue sauce. This whole bottle is 500 calories per serve, it's like 30 or 40 calories. If you compare that to the ones that are normal in the squeeze tube, it's like triple the amount, looking at like 150 calories per serve. So just getting flavour with low calories, and this one's pretty clean. Same with this Perinase, same as like the mayo. There's a freezer there with a halo top in it. Can you bring that out, please?
Might be there long.
Yeah. Another snack, which is really cool. I'm a chip person, so this stuff here is 400 calories for a whole bag of popcorn, right? So this stuff is liquid gold. But yeah, this whole thing is 400 calories for the whole bag. So like you're sitting down and you're normally a chip person, you're going to Doritos or a Kettles or that's about 800-900 calories. So this is nearly half of the calories, right? And it's pretty voluminous. Like you can, pick on this for a whole movie and you're pretty good. And you can add that in some calories. So that's a little bit snack idea. And then there's about 3 different options for ice cream. This whole thing is only 360 calories, right? This whole thing. And the benefit is it's 20 grams of protein.
About $360 as well.
This is $10. $10. Yeah, it's not too bad.
$8 on special.
So this is the Halo type. Aldi has one
For $6.
$6, and
it's
that is
better.
called Kenny's. So I just got this because I was on there, but I get Kenny's a lot. And Kenny's, you had Kenny's.
Yeah, I had
That's
Kenny's.
pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Kenny's is the best. I have half a tub of nuts.
Yeah, and they have a few options.
And
It's three.
Half the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. So
No,
there's
yeah.
300 to 350 calories per serve. You can factor that into your thing easily, or you can have half a tub over two. Sometimes I have half if I know I've had extra calories, and you're getting some protein in that as well. So that's a win. So the comparison is the Ben and Jerry's for the same size is 1,200 calories. Yeah. So you're literally it's a third of the calories, and the taste is actually pretty good. So
This is making me hungry.
all in all, guys, my message and what I will strive to deliver moving forward is an ongoing education process tailored to what you already like to eat. But the key is understanding your calories from that BMR, finding a 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day, understanding what your calories you're burning in your session, what your calories that you're burning in everyday life. It might take you a couple of weeks to figure that out to be, comfortable. It's taken me and Benny a couple of weeks to get into a groove, and now that he's in the groove, he can start to be a little bit more lenient on his stuff. And then once you've got your calories, then it's like, let's look at our diet. What are we eating already that's protein? Whether it's minced meat, go for the leaner mince. Whether it's chicken, find ways of adding lighter sauces. Whether it's, bacon, finding, leaner cuts of bacon. Tuna, chicken, cottage cheese, whatever it is. Find the leaner cuts so that we're getting that 100-ish, 150, depending on, 1.5 grams per kilo. And then it might be over 3 meals. It might be over 2 meals. I know Anuj does 2 meals mainly. And, Anuj has lost nearly 5 kilos in the first 2 weeks. So, it doesn't matter when you're getting your protein. This was the biggest debunk that a book I read, is that, we thought that you can only absorb a certain amount, but if you're doing it over 2 meals and you feel like fasting and you're a breakfast person, that's okay. Have 2 1,000 calorie meals if that works for you. Yeah. So, or if that doesn't work for you and you need to eat 5 meals because your blood sugar gets too low and you get hangry, then make that work for you. You know what I mean? I'm that kind of person. I used to be the fast person. Now I'm like, I need something to eat. I'm hungry right now. So yeah, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Is there any questions about that? Have a think. If there's any questions online, just
Hey Mark.
yeah.
I'll put my camera on so you can see me. Hey man. And the other little thing I heard someone say about the kind of kids sweat or like where
Yeah.
the kids just with work. But I was just wondering if anyone, I was going to study that, if anyone like wants to put in maybe use recipes like or just ideas of what to cook. So
Yeah.
if anyone's got like ideas and stuff, is there a way that we can like share like
Hello
in the
Fresh.
top or,
Just
like,
use the app.
Hello Fresh is shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thing about it is
one
it's
thing
there.
that Cynthia.
Pizza, you know how to cook. I don't know.
Yeah. So one thing Ben uses is HelloFresh. But if that's not an option, then one thing that Cynthia uses, one thing that we underutilize is the Train on Demand app, the UBX one, and they have 7 or 8 different lunches and dinners every single week on recipes and ideas. And not only that, it's broken down per serve and how many calories in each serve. So the Train on Demand app, and then secondly, I'll use the WhatsApp group, and if you want, I can add the recipes that I cook.
Yeah, like even if it's like recipe, like or recipe of the week, or like snack of the week. I don't know, snack of the day.
Yeah. And this is one thing that I 100% want to do is make it more of like, instead of, because I'm working with about 4 other people at the moment with the diet, and the biggest message that I say to them is like, don't worry about getting it perfect now. Worry about start with, because most of the time we only eat probably 5 or 6 meals on rotation with a few added here and there. So it's like, find your 3 or 4 meals and then fixate on that and understand exactly the calories and the protein in that. Then when you get bored of that, then find your next one, and then find your next one, and then just keep adding to your bank, rather than trying to feel like I need 20 recipes to make this worthwhile. It's like for me, it's I have 1 or 2 breakfasts, 1 or 2 lunches, and 1 or 2 dinners that I go to. And then when I get bored of them, I start looking on Instagram and I go, oh, what do I feel like? Mexican or Italian or this? And then I'll find a recipe for that and then go with that. So if for anyone on here, write down your food on what you're eating, and then I'm pretty good at going, okay, if that's what you are usually eating, here's a higher protein, lower calorie version of that one. Yeah? So just write down all your stuff, and then during a session one day, you want to, at the end of the session, whether it's towards the end or we want to go for a coffee afterwards, when I'll sit down and for 20-30 minutes, just give you a couple of ideas, but not give you, trying to fix it all at once. It's just like fix 1 or 2 meals, and then, get them going, and then then, because I'll get you to track it on MyFitnessPal, okay, that's got 30-40 grams of protein, that's got 400-500 calories, so that every time you go to eat that, you don't have to think about how many calories is this, how much protein is this. It's one of your rotational meals. And then now what I do is I go, okay, I know that's 600, I know that's 650, I know that's 300. So then now I can just kind of like guesstimate at a pretty, good amount. And then when I really want to dial in, then I'll eat something that I haven't eaten before, then I'll put it in the app. But 9 times out of 10 now, it's like the first 2 or 3 weeks are the hardest because you're like putting everything in. But once it's in and it's there, it doesn't change. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. Anything else? Yep.
Once you hit your ideal weight,
yep.
Can you then just start living to 8?
Living at maintenance, correct. It won't be too late.
Beers every night.
Fucking yo-yo.
So it won't be too late because
No, it'll be low weight, right?
Correct.
Not be too far.
Correct. So it'll probably be.
But you don't need to go into deficit as much
Correct.
because you don't
Yes.
need to lose.
Yeah, and then the thing is like to put on a kilo of body fat, you have to overeat like 3,000 calories.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. If you eat, if you go into even if you have a big night out, you might only go 1,500 calories over, right? So you have to do that 2 or 3 times in a week for it to go, you're going to store a kilo of body fat here. So that's why learning the skills now, it's not so much about I blow out and then I just blow the week out. It's like, enjoy a blowout, go to the footy, have some beers, have that, but then the next day, we're clean and we're back to neutral, and we're just, how can we have 1,000 deficit from a little bit from training, a little bit from food? Because I can easily put 1,000 calories on in, I can eat that pizza in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So, so the concept still stays the same. Because you're still going to get to a point where you're going to, go over that. And so it's just people who are naturally not that overweight almost do this naturally. Like it's like a thing in their brain where they're just like, I don't need to eat now because my body's got extra energy in it. It was like my body's just like, no, I'll just eat whatever, So that's where we need to track because my brain doesn't have that off switch. So if I don't have that off switch and you guys want to give those things off, then it's like, okay, don't rely on that brain, let's rely on the numbers. And then it takes the thinking out of it.
And so for you on your journey, when you shared that you were like 180, where are you now? Where do you want to get to?
I'm at 129, I broke the 130, and I want to get to 110. Yeah, 110 is like my fighting weight. So like when I was, if I have 0 fat on my body, I'm at 95 kilos. So I've got a pretty high muscle mass, which is for my training, which is what you want, which means you can eat more. So my goal is like, 110, 15, who knows, I might get there and decide to run a marathon and get down to 90. So, but yeah.
No one does it.
Of midlife crisis. Yeah, about 110. So another 20 kilos. Yeah. We'll keep you updated. Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, any other questions throughout the week, guys? Write them down. Keep writing your food down. Keep journaling them. Keep understanding your calories. MyFitnessPal is the best way to do that. And then any questions you've got, you're not annoying me. I want to help you guys. There is an 6-week challenge coming up starting July the 22nd. We're going to get body scanners in. So let's make this a good kind of next 4 to 6 weeks before that happens to just get a good understanding of calories, good understanding of your food. Then when we get to that point, then it's literally training 3 to 4 times a week. We're on the calorie deficit, and we're going to have, you know, all get amazing before and afters, and be like, whoop, whoop. All right, cool. Good job, guys.
Thank you.